On Working Week this week, we're inside one of Nottingham's biggest employers, Capital One.
There's never been a day when I've woke up and thought, oh no, I've got to go to work today. There's so much variety here that I enjoy coming to work.
And we'll be looking at a Nottingham company that handles texts, that's texts, across the world.
The Sendex are the UK's leading business SMS company. So if you get a text from Ocado telling you that your shopping is going to be delivered, or from Specsavers reminding you about your eye test, it's probably us that's behind it.
And Des will be finding out how you're getting on getting a job, or finding a better one than the one you've got now.
You've just applied for a new job?
Yeah. Within the place I already work, within the same company, but they seem to be taking on new staff at the moment as well.
There's no jobs out there. And if you want a job, you have to do cleaning.
I think people are a bit more fixed into just doing what they want to be doing rather than just getting a job.
Hello, I'm Rob Pittham.
And I'm Des Coleman. Now, you know, on this show, we love to take a look at some of Nottingham's biggest companies.
And they don't come much bigger than Capital One.
Some more blues going on here.
It looks more like a playground for adults than a place to work, but it's helped Capital One to win numerous awards for the way it treats its workers. For the last 2 years, it's been voted the best place to work in the country and number 4 in the whole of Europe.
We have lovely big area offices, we've got a gym, we have a cycle to work scheme, we have cycle maintenance classes. They just seem to do everything possible to make you enjoy working here.
One of the great things about Capital One is it's nice and flexible. People can come and go as they please almost, but as long as you get the job done, it's very much built on trust and respect in the workplace.
It may look like fun, but for the company, looking after its workforce is a serious business. So what do they do to make sure coming to the office is a happy experience?
There's probably, I'd say, 2 or 3 things that are most important for us. One, communication. So we've just put in a huge amount of work trying to connect every single employee we have here to one goal. And it's our goal really, which is totally focused on our customers and to find a way to make our customers' lives better with the product that they have with us. And so we spend a lot of time just trying to connect through communications top down, through communications across departments, and then obviously from ideas bubbling up, just trying to connect people to that goal. I would say leadership has been really, really key. So we have a very open plan environment. Leaders are out on the floor. They are accessible by everybody. They speak a lot about why we do what we do, what's so important about that, and we try to encourage them to speak from the heart. One of the most important things is our environment. Very open plan, it's very light, it's very colourful, but we create places where people can work, where they can eat, where they can play, where they can even rest, and it's just really, really important because it just helps people when they go back to their desk, when they are working, to be the best that they can be.
How about you, Hales? What are you going for?
Orange.
You got orange?
Yeah.
It's a unique culture. They do a lot of great work in the community. There's a real good vibe around the business. It's a great environment, as you've seen today. There's a real opportunity to help develop staff as well. So if you really want to get on in your career, then Capital One can kind of make that happen.
There's a big focus here on everyone sort of working towards the same goals, and I think other companies could probably learn from that.
From my personal experiences, a happier workforce is a more productive workforce, which obviously brings benefits to the business, and also it just makes coming into work a lot more of an enjoyable experience.
You can go back to the time where employees are just coming in to do a job and go home at the end of the day, but you get so much more than the sum of the parts by having your employees wanting to be the best that they can do, coming up with new ideas. They are closer to our customer than the leadership are, and so they can actually see what's going on the floor and what's difficult for customers and what's difficult for them in terms of serving those customers. Creating that environment, giving them that permission, empowering them, if you like, just creates so much more than you would otherwise get if it was much more command and control as it used to be.
Capital One's a US-owned company which has been in Nottingham for 17 years. Its focus on keeping the workforce happy has grown in that time.
What sort of things do you think would be really, really good for you to allow?
Primarily.
So what advice does it have for other employers?
Thanks very much.
Cheers,
See
Karen.
you. Communicate in a way that's much more honest. Don't try and control communications. Give your employees what they need to be successful. That could be the good, so it could be celebrating. It could also be what's challenging. We, on our customer agent floor, they get to see what our customers are saying about us online, both good and bad. And it's very, very important that we give our employees that honest information. They are adults and they want to be treated in a very adult-to-adult way. Invest in your leaders and your managers. Help them inspire the heart rather than just do the job. And as a manager, coach somebody to be the best that they can be rather than telling them what to do. And if you can do investment in your development, then that's another really, really key thing that can really take you the extra mile.
Hey Will, how's it going today, mate?
All right, really well.
There's a never-ending sense of surprise to business life here in Nottingham. Take this firm, Sendex. You've probably never heard of them, but they manage text for businesses, a lot of businesses.
The French president, we helped him get elected and he uses us. People like Cadbury's, the Tour de France, Le Mans 24-hour, a very long list of famous and not so famous companies. The National Lottery use us, lots of airlines use us, but then also quite often we have software companies who use our services that powers their software. So we've got 4,500 schools using our software. Now, they don't even know it. We're effectively powering them, enabling them to send messages to parents to tell them the school's closed or flooded or whatever. A lot of household names, but also a lot that you've probably not heard of as well.
The Nottingham office is home to 65 people, but it's also the centre for an international operation.
Über Ihren E-Mail-Account verschicken Sie SMS. Bedeutet, Sie registrieren sich zuerst.
The company has offices in Barcelona, Paris and Melbourne in Australia, and it also recruits workers from around the world.
It's great to meet other people from different offices. So we have sometimes people coming over from Australia, from our offices in Barcelona. It's good to have this internationality in our company, especially in our team. We have people from the nationality. So we've got someone working here who's from France, someone from Spain, etc. So yeah, it's great.
All right, brilliant. Cheers.
It's a high-tech business that has to compete with companies from California to London, persuading talented people to move to Nottingham.
The challenge for us is getting talented technical people, catching them before they all go down to London or work for a big investment bank. We do very well because we're here in the city centre and it's a nice office and it's a nice atmosphere. We can buy a good-sized house for not much money, a good lifestyle alongside working in this demanding business. We can attract a lot of talent because of what we've built ourselves up to be, and then we can make sure that they have a nice lifestyle outside of that as well. In a lot of bigger cities than Nottingham, you can't really do that.
Like Capital One, who we heard from earlier, it's a young company that puts a lot of emphasis on keeping its young workforce happy.
Now your turn.
One of the great things about working at Sendex is the great people, really, and the great things that Sendex do for the people as well. Like we have monthly socials, which are all funded by the company. This is the playroom that we're in now, which is just a great room if you want to take a break, have a game of pool. We've got lots of different games you can play on here. On a Friday, we also have beer o'clock. So at 4:30, we all down tools, get a beer. We've got an outside terrace as well, especially which is great in the sun. So really it's just a great place to work. We're working with really passionate people who are all interested in all things technology as well. So it's, we've got people that we all get on with.
Hi, I'm good. How's it going? We take training and development of individuals very seriously. So if a developer comes here, we can give them a good experience and a good amount of ongoing professional development.
And as Sendex expands worldwide, there are knock-on benefits for its home city.
We were founded in Nottingham. One of our co-founders lived in Beeston, started the company up in his garage, and the rest is history, really. Once we'd got a critical mass established in Nottingham, the logical thing was just to keep growing and investing here. But I think as we went international, we realised we couldn't run everything out of Nottingham. We're seeing more and more stuff in those international operations, but the head office is in Nottingham. That's where the classic head office functions, marketing, finance, development are. So as those territories grow, it creates jobs in Nottingham.
Well, let's start by going shopping. When you go shopping, you inevitably end up in Tesco. Now, Tesco is a strange beast. Millions of people shop there every day, but it seems nobody's got a good word for it. That's reflected in the fact that of late Tesco's not been doing brilliantly, still a massive business, makes a lot of money, but it's not been making as much as people think it should, and the chief executive's on the way out. But you know what? The new chief executive is somebody who's coming from Nottingham. He's a guy called Dave Lewis, and he learned all there is to know about business studies at Nottingham Trent University. So we're going to find out in the next few weeks whether or not Nottingham Trent University can work some of its magic on Tesco and energise it a bit. Now, energy is never very far from the news, whether it's the price we pay for it or worries even about the supply. And there's an energy company up in this neck of the woods that's been in the news during the last week. It's called Alkane Energy, and it's built a business based on tapping the gas that occurs naturally in mine workings, burning it off and using that to create power. During the last week or so, it's paid 12 million for 3 more sites, and the National Grid is using Alkane more and more to try and make up for gaps in our energy supply. So Alkane at least has got a bright future, but maybe we just need to keep on hoping that the sun's shining. Let's hope that the sun keeps shining, not just because it means that the heat can be turned off, but also because it's holiday time at the end of the day. Some of us are going to be heading to Skeggy, there's a few of us might be lucky enough to go abroad, and there's the odd few people who are going to be going to a place called Centre Parks, which, as people will know, is based here in Nottinghamshire, and it's got a village up at Sherwood Forest. Sherwood Forest has been a big success story for Centre Parks, and the interesting thing this last week is that as a business, Centre Parks has been voted one of the most customer-friendly holiday companies in Britain. So on that note, it's time to put your sun hats on and head back to Des and Rob.
Well, we'll take a break right now, but coming up, Des,
A Notts firm that's the leading maker of carriages around the world.
We were lucky enough to build a carriage for Disney in Florida for their weddings department, and that was a fabulous commission. Carriage builders all around the world bid for that, and it came to Bennington's.
And continuing the rural theme, we'll be finding out how Notts farmers are coping with the rather nice weather.
Currently there are some things that are happening in farming that are not making them very happy, but then of course a happy farmer is quite a rare thing sometimes.
All that and more so, see you in a short while. Great place for a coffee halt, Liz.
Yeah, and we're featuring this business in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, but let's get back to the show, because in a few minutes' time we'll be meeting 2 sisters that run a world-beating carriage company.
We're a niche business. We've had so many opportunities to travel around the world. I was in the States in March, meeting a lot of customers out there and creating new opportunities.
And we'll be finding out how they're getting on down on the farm.
The prices have hit rock bottom, just as we're hoping to gain a reasonable yield.
Right, so yeah, we'll just do this a few times, so we'll start, John will come in after him.
If you've got one business, how do you grow another? You'll need a lot of energy. Not a problem for Amy Topham.
I started off as a freelance dance teacher, and then in 2009 I started my own dance company, which was Spritzer. From then I wanted to add in some drama, some singing, some examinations in ballet, tap and modern, so I started Triple Threat Arts Academy.
She has now launched her own clothing range, From the Heart Fashion.
I thought, what can I do that's kind of fashion but still I'm passionate about it, so I decided to do my own dance fashion range. There's a lot of places you can go and buy ballet leotards and ballet shoes. There's loads of directories online that you can go and get that from. And I wanted to kind of do some urban dance wear that made it obvious that you were a dancer. Dancers like to tell people that they dance without actually saying it, so I kind of went with that and thought, what can I do? So my designs are kind of based around that.
Get that small clap.
It was just absolutely fantastic when I was going to events and people understanding my designs, because they are very creative, and people wanting to buy them and were actually taking them off the shelf, and I was like, yay, it's happening.
And she's still aiming high.
I really want to have shops abroad in like Paris and Venice, not just dancewear, sort of general fashion. And obviously I want to get my products, my dance products, into dance catalogues and get like a regular ongoing supply to dancers. This is the Can Dance range. A lot of people like to guess what it says.
Adrian Williamson from NBV advised Amy on how to grow her business.
I do quite a lot of research on behalf of clients in terms of trying to identify things that may help them. It could be support organisations, it could be research into social media methods, it could be to do with ways to develop their website, things like that.
One of the hurdles obviously at the beginning was not having money, so I actually invested my savings into buying a whole lot of stock. Another thing is I actually have no business background at all, so I just started my dance company in 2009 and just kind of learned along the way. But this has brought a very different business approach to myself. So you know, I had to learn about sales and marketing, things that I've never had to deal with before. Just, you know, with my dance company, there's just been so many different things that have like come up, and I've just thought, oh my God, how do I do this? So it's been really challenging in a business way because, like I say, I've had no business experience, no business background at all.
The biggest problem sometimes people have when they start and they want to start a business or they have a creative thing that they're doing is that they understand the core of it. They understand the thing they want to do. It could be making pots, it could be doing animation, it could be doing all sorts of things. What we try and do is to provide them with the material that goes around the outside, the thing that will help them turn it into a business.
It's been great. They've given me workshops that I can go to. So I went to a sales and marketing workshop that they did all day, and that was absolutely fantastic. Learned so much, met so many different people, because it is sort of like a networking event at the same time, because you're meeting all these different people and everyone's at different levels of their business. People are just starting out, so it's great to obviously talk to people. There's just businesses in all different types of things. A lot of people don't get it because they're like, well, some people do. I've had 2 close mentors at NBV. They're just so supportive of what I do, and they are just, you know, no one has ever doubted me, and that's what I love about it. They're just like, yeah, you can do it, let's go. So that's great.
We do a diverse range of carriages. For pleasure driving, people just want to trot around the lanes on a Sunday afternoon and enjoy their horses. But our main core business is the competition carriages, which is really the driving trials. The other side of our business is we manufacture high quality metal furniture for the home and conservatory, which crosses over really well with our skills that we have here at Bennington.
And this picture was taken at Mansfield.
It's a family affair at Bennington Carriages, near Newark in Nottinghamshire.
And this is a pair of Shetland ponies that we had, and they were called Dusty and Fusty.
Michael Mart started the business nearly 50 years ago, and it's now run by his 2 daughters, Sue and Wendy.
So is this the first?
The first.
The first carriage. Dad's still involved in the business. He says he's retired, but he's not. And he's really our leader, you know. He has so many inspiration and so much technology, and he's always pushing the boundaries really, so we still need him. And Mum's semi-retired but does accounts. Wendy heads the furniture side of the business. We used to be in the village in Bennington, and about 3 years ago had the inspiration and foresight to move up here, which was a great opportunity and a big leap of faith, but we did it.
Ideal for someone starting.
The business has gone from strength to strength and now boasts a shop, a factory, and provides riding lessons for all ages.
Yeah. So again, it's just that small movement, and just think about just moving his head. I do a lot of coaching here, and we run a lot of have-a-go days, trying to get people into the sport and enjoy the experience.
Come on, you're going to knock that over. Oh no, we're taking the carriage with us.
Sue and Wendy have forged a remarkable career from carriages, competing around the world.
I've competed in the World Championships carriage driving and has some super wins in the UK. Had a win recently at Sandringham Horse Trials 3 weeks ago, which was an FEI 2-star, so that was a great achievement.
And in 52 years of business, Bennington Carriages have built up an impressive customer base.
We've built carriages for the Sultan of Brunei, tourism in Jordan. We've done one-offs, and we made a beautiful Cinderella carriage for Disney for their weddings department, and that was a fabulous opportunity to have, and we work very closely with Disney in Florida. We have clients that just like trotting around the lanes, and we've got the high-profile carriage drivers that compete internationally and win gold medals abroad. We're lucky enough to hold the royal warrant for Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, which we got in 1979 and which we still hold today, so that's a great achievement.
It's very pretty. It's very nice.
Everything's
lovely.
The wheels are made from aluminium. Everything's powder coated.
We're very lucky to have a really good, loyal team, and it's good that we all cross over skills. And once they come into Bennington, they stay loyal, and they're a brilliant team and just dedicated to their job.
Let's continue the rural theme and take a look at how things are down on the farm. And while the sunshine is just as welcome here as it is for the rest of us, farmers are looking to a wider horizon. At this farm at Stragglethorpe, they're worried about a worldwide drop in prices for their products.
We're growing oilseed rape and winter-sown barley and winter-sown wheat. Prices are hitting a rock bottom at the moment just as we approach harvest, and that doesn't bode well for those farmers that can't store their own grain.
It's all to do with the weather generally, but also to do with how old stocks of wheat and soya and maize are on the world market. It's to do with the rate of sterling exchange with the euro and the dollar, and it's to do with how crops are growing in the rest of the world. So in 2012 we saw a terrible drought in North America which badly affected maize and soya and wheat, but this year the crops are growing really well and the forecasts for their harvests are very good. And at the same time the forecast for our harvest is very good. Yields generally speaking are looking pretty good, and that means that unfortunately there's going to be quite a lot of it about and the price will go down.
We've had quite a lot of light intensity throughout the growing period, which is good for reasonable yields. We've had reasonable rainfall when we've needed it, and we've been able to get onto the land when we've needed to with our protection and fertilisation. But we are in a global commodity business.
And it's not just farmers like Peter who grow crops. The National Farmers Union says prices are low across the industry.
Our beef and lamb farmers are also not getting the proper price for their product as well, and that is causing some issues for livestock farmers.
And it seems like Nottinghamshire's farmers are looking for a helping hand from us. They reckon it's the British consumer demanding local food which will keep their industry alive.
This weather is just ideal for British beef and lamb on your barbecue.
For now, the priority is to get the harvest in, but farmers are already turning their thoughts to what happens next, and what they'll be paid for the crops they've produced or the animals they've reared is becoming an increasing worry.
Do you think things are improving on the job front?
No. No. I'm being made redundant, so no, I don't think so.
Do you think things are improving?
Yeah, it seems to be. A lot more recently as well. Especially with all the work going on around Nottingham with the trams at the moment, seem to be employing people.
Where I work, they're just starting to employ for Christmas. So definitely, they ramp up around this time. So
I've got 2 children and I've looked for jobs no end of times, and all you get told is no jobs, no jobs, no jobs. And it's all these, not being disrespectful, all the foreigners that's taking all our work. So we've got to find a job if nobody's got jobs. And then the government going mad at us for not having a job.
I've got a CSS card, so I want to be on the building site. There's no jobs out there for building.
I haven't looked for a job in quite a while. I've been in my current one for 5.5 years. Not felt the need to move on yet.
Sounds weird, but we're not kind of general population, just, any old job. We work in games industry, and those jobs are quite few and far between. It's really specialised, isn't it?
There's now a surplus of people trying to get the very few jobs there are, which means trying to get another job if I did want to move on is quite hard.
People often ask us where we get our stories from. Well, in a place like Nottingham, they just come to you. Photographer Paul Brown from Urban Life Photos stopped by for a word. And a few minutes later, a passing cyclist, Michael Braga, revealed he's working on a £500 million project.
The project we're working on at the moment is to sort out the sewage problem in Mumbai.
It's amazing what you pick up when you're on the street, if you'll pardon me. Oh, did it bite?
Spider, no.
Oh, no, you're not scared of spiders, are you?
Yeah, yeah.
Look, that's a vicious one, look at that. It's got a chunk of your flesh in its mouth as it runs away. Anyway, it's amazing what you meet, is what I was going to say. The people you meet when you're out in the street, so good luck to Paul and his photography business.
Yeah, and don't forget, you can always catch us on YouTube. Just type in Notts TV Working Week.
And if you've got a story idea for the programme, get in touch on news@workingweektv.com. That's news@workingweektv.com. See you next time. Hi, Jerome. No scratch on it.